At the edge of the African savanna, even its most powerful predator can be defeated by an enemy too small to fight. Hundreds of grey-white ticks have gathered around his most sensitive areas, feeding where his claws cannot safely reach. Every step pulls against the parasites buried beneath his mane, turning a simple walk into a painful struggle. He rubs against the roughest bark he can find, but the parasites have anchored themselves too deeply to be removed. His claws are powerful enough to hold down prey, yet they cannot reach the parasites hidden behind his ears and beneath his heavy mane. As the pride moves on, he falls behind, separated not by another predator, but by hundreds of relentless parasites. The birds recognize an opportunity, but approaching a weakened lion requires patience, precision, and extraordinary courage. The first oxpecker leaves the safety of the branch, drawn toward the dense clusters hidden around the lion's ear. One warning from the lion could end the encounter, yet the small bird remains still, waiting for the anger to pass. Exhaustion slowly overcomes suspicion, giving the oxpecker a narrow chance to move closer. For the first time, the small bird stands directly upon the predator, only a heartbeat away from danger. Beneath the thick mane lies a concentrated feeding ground, but the bird must first discover how much movement the lion will tolerate. With one precise movement, the oxpecker removes the first parasite, beginning a process that may determine whether the lion recovers. The lion finally allows the birds to continue, unaware that the worst infestation is hidden just behind his ear. Behind the lion's ear, the oxpeckers discover the most heavily infested area they have seen so far. The first parasites behind the ear are removed carefully, one by one, without disturbing the exhausted predator. The birds begin dividing the work, each searching a different part of the lion's body for hidden clusters. Around the eye, every movement must be exact, because one mistake could frighten the lion or injure delicate tissue. Beneath the jaw and across the chest, the infestation is just as severe, forcing the birds to continue without rest. As the lion turns, the birds discover that the parasites extend far beyond the mane, covering nearly every protected fold of skin. As the lion turns, the birds discover that the parasites extend far beyond the mane, covering nearly every protected fold of skin. Beneath the lower mane, the birds find hundreds more parasites packed tightly against the lion's throat and chest. Working together, the oxpeckers expose the hidden skin and remove each tick without pulling painfully against the heavy mane. The infestation continues across the chest and shoulder, where protected folds have allowed the parasites to multiply undisturbed. The infestation continues across the chest and shoulder, where protected folds have allowed the parasites to multiply undisturbed. For the first time, the lion finds enough strength to stand, while the birds remain close and continue their careful work. The water cools the inflamed skin, but the firmly anchored ticks remain beyond the reach of the current. As the wet mane separates, the birds finally reach parasites that had remained hidden beneath layers of dense fur. The front of the lion's body is improving, but near the hind legs and tail, another hidden infestation is waiting. Near the hips and tail, the birds face another dense concentration hidden beneath layers of thick fur. At the base of the tail, every removal is complicated by constant movement and the sensitivity of the surrounding skin. The inner leg folds reveal hundreds more parasites, hidden in places the lion could never inspect or clean by himself. Weak but increasingly cooperative, the lion changes position and gives the birds access to the opposite side of his body. The opposite hip is just as heavily infested, forcing the flock to repeat the difficult work from the beginning. With every bird working in a different position, the enormous burden finally begins to diminish across the lion's entire body. The returning strength is tested when distant scavengers appear, but a single roar proves that the lion is no longer completely helpless. The lion can finally stand with confidence again, but before he returns to the pride, the last hidden parasites must still be removed. Before the lion can return to his pride, the oxpeckers must search every hidden fold for the parasites that still remain. Before the lion can return to his pride, the oxpeckers must search every hidden fold for the parasites that still remain. The heavy mane is searched strand by strand until even the smallest remaining parasites are finally exposed. In the final protected folds, the lion remains completely still, allowing the birds to finish what he could never accomplish alone. In the final protected folds, the lion remains completely still, allowing the birds to finish what he could never accomplish alone. With one final precise movement, the last visible parasite is removed from behind the lion's ear. Freed from the burden that had drained his strength, the lion rises once more as the powerful guardian of his territory. On the African savanna, survival does not always depend on strength alone. Sometimes, even a lion must trust the smallest allies.